Welcome to the 7 Minutes to Better Selling podcast. I'm your host, Colin Lake, president and founder of Developing the Next Leaders. But Mahesh, tell everyone how you go to 20 years ago to where you are today, this author, entrepreneur, and growing expert in the blockchain space.
Sure. So, obviously we don't have a lot of time, but if I have to describe this in few words, I will say dream, passion, and energy. So anything you do which you dream about when you're a child or when you're growing up as a teenager, and if you are passionate about, and if you start doing that, chances are you will become who you want to be, right? You'll be successful. And with that, I think on the way, if you empower people, you cannot just be you, right? You have to empower people on the way so they can become your arms and your legs and your, eyes and ears. That's probably the best way I can describe in a minute.
Mm, boy, that's great. And so, what's your go back? We'll dig just a second deeper into this. Is what's your dream? Let's say you're 15 years old. What's your dream at that time? Like, what do you say? I want to do what?
Well, when I grew up in a village in India, and when you say village in India back in 25 years ago, or 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, um, we had no electricity, we had no television, no radio. We had radio. Uh, so while I'm in school, there was no books, there was no libraries. We hardly get, teacher has one book, so he's just reading from that, writing on the whiteboard, and you are just making notes. So one of the dream I always had was, one day maybe I'm going to have a library which is going to have a lot of books, and almost every books where anybody can come and read for free. And fast forward that 20, 35, 40, 30, whatever years, today we have the largest online website community for software developers where people learn for free. So that's the kind of, you can see that was one of the dreams. I didn't realize, but it was intentionally or unintentionally, or indirectly, it was my dream. So that's where here we are, right? I always wanted to help other people, and through all these starting these businesses, startups, and mentoring other young guys, that's what I end up doing it, and I love that doing it. So when you do anything you love to do, chances are you will be successful. You may not be rich or wealthy, but you are successful.
Like, what would you suggest for a salesperson that they could do better in order to give their clients confidence to take the next steps?
Yeah, and I feel for sales guys, right? Sales is hard. We know that. Sales is not sales is the probably hardest part of any business,
Mm.
because you have to convince people to spend money, and especially in the market when it's down and people are trying to save whatever they have. But look at when I'm a salesperson, you got to look at like a history. You look at the history, right? History repeats itself. We know that. We say that all the time. But every time, all smart people, they have figured out when things are down, that's when they take advantage, either of buying or investing or building. If you look at even the history of innovation, most innovation happens when things are not right, things are not going as supposed to go, right? That's when most innovation happens, because there are challenges, there are problems, and innovation solves those problems. If there were no problems in the world, there will be very less innovation, right? So if I'm a salesperson and I'm trying to talk to my client, and the best way I would think is that understand their basic problem. Like, if they don't have enough budget, look at them, what they're, how you can actually help them rather than sell them, right? In this, they need your help, so you need to figure out what can you do to help them, number one. And number two, have an empathy, where they coming from, right? And maybe in this time they need more your support, and you don't have to say, don't worry about, you can pay later. You have to figure out from client to client. But the point is, you should be there as a friend, as a supporter, not as a salesperson when they need you. Eventually that will end up leading to sales and whatever you're trying to sell them, right? So
Wow.
that will be my view.
Yeah, that is awesome. I want to highlight two of those points, Mahesh. One is, like, without a challenge, there's going to be so much less innovation. Like, we need these challenges, these obstacles, these problems in order to create innovation. And so, like, one of the things we can do to remind our clients is when these difficulties arise, a bit of an investment can in fact have a big impact. So I thought that was great. And then the second thought, and I'll ask you to elaborate on both. The second thought, which is just so nice, is, hey, I'm here to strengthen relationships right now. I'm here to create ideas, not necessarily sell something. That is a beautiful thought, and one that I think we could all do better at relaying to our clients today. Mahesh, let me ask you this. So you've done a lot of work and are doing even more and some real exciting stuff in the blockchain space. Will you tell us what's happening with what you're doing, and then maybe more broadly within the blockchain space today?
Yeah, so a lot of people, cryptocurrency is down big time. Bitcoin was down. It's down from like 67,000 to 29,000. So when most people think of blockchain, they're like, oh, shoot, crypto is down. What's going on? Things are falling down, right? But being a cryptocurrency and blockchain being a new space, technology new, a lot of people are building things. So when these ups and downs happen, they're only happening at the top level of people who don't understand the underlying technology. It's like building railroad, right? When you start building a railroad and government puts money and people puts money and energy in it, they don't stop railroad because rain is there. There's rain or there's storm coming, right? They're going to continue to build this railroad. There may be some hiccups, sure, because your first time doing it, it's innovation. But you got to continue to build those railroads until you finish from East Coast to West Coast. That's the end goal. So in blockchain space, regardless of price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies go ups and down, it doesn't matter to builders like us. We are still building products. We are still building, tools and anything we need. And we're not most. Here's the funny thing, Carl, is that most people who are builders and creators and innovators, they don't even think about money and how much profit they make, all that. They don't take care of that. They're not really passionate about that. They will continue to build regardless. And this is the time where they even get more focused and build more.
How about like a ending thought or wrap up thought in terms of like what's all happening in your world today?
Well, I mean, ending thought really is that technology is growing right now. We are growing big time. Everybody's so busy building, regardless of you look at the stock market down 30%, 20%, crypto is down this much percent. It doesn't matter to us. Like innovators are building, creating everything. But my only last thought is regardless of what you do and sell, just sell what you believe in really, right? And that end of the day, that will make you successful. Don't sell anything you don't believe in yourself. And I watch Shaquille O'Neal. He invests in companies and talk about the companies where he loved, the companies they helped him when he was teenagers. So you got to think like, do you really truly believe in something which you're selling? And if you do, you don't need to really sell. You just be yourself.
Good selling to everybody.